All right, looks like we finally lost a die roll. Our opponent rolled a 6. That's unfair. This hand is awful. Let's go ahead and mulligan this. This hand is also awful. This hand is fine-ish. I'm going to keep. Don't want this, and I guess I don't want Lodestone Golem. Kind of want the Lodestone Golem. It might look weird here that we're keeping Chief Engineer, but Chief Engineer is one of the best cards with the Mystic Forge. So if we were to draw a blue mana source, I would want the Chief Engineer in play. Looks like we're playing against Jund, possibly just Gareen. Oh, we're playing against Valakut. Okay. The Valakut combo deck. This is probably not the best matchup for us. It is a combo deck after all. And they don't really care too much about our taxing abilities. But if we get enough of them, maybe then it should be fine. But here they can just like still cast like even Search for Tomorrow, Secure Tribe Elder, etc. When they go off, they don't really need a ton of stuff. Looks like they're going to explore. Titan. No, I think we're dead next turn. Yeah, alright. Maybe I shouldn't have shown them this stuff, but they should have figured it out by now. Alright, so we want this, and unfortunately we have like 0 sideboard against this deck. Like Revoker doesn't really do anything, Hangerback Walker doesn't do anything. I think we just need speed. I'm just gonna trim on a Thorn. Maybe Thorn on the play is good. I guess Thorn on the play is probably good. I'm just like cut a pest because it's been the worst card in the deck. Just like have to hope to keep a fast, quick hand that's decent. This. I guess this is a keep. I didn't play the Mox here because if they have something like Nature's Claim, I don't want them to Nature's Claim the Mox. So like that turn was like pretty great. Collector Oath is fine. Land. Yay. So, I mean, that was like pretty sweet. That was almost like regular old Affinity, where you just got to do some crazy stuff, but thankfully, like the Ethereum Sculptor plus Master or Chief Engineer just kind of like went nuts there. I guess if they have Collector Oof, then I want these Signal Pests back in. Probably cut the Thorn. Yeah, cutting the Thorn on the draw makes sense. Maybe it's like the Lodestone Golem on the draw. Yeah, Lodestone Golem has a lot of power and toughness. Play like Thorn of the God or Throne of the God Pharaoh. It's like pretty big burn spell instead of another Thorn. I think their mana acceleration is too great for Thorn of the Amethyst, and it's like most likely just gonna hinder us. But I think we want some number because there's like sometimes it's good. I don't know. Maybe we want all of them, but we want another hand like that one. That hand was great. That's something like regular Affinity can't really do, is a draw like that. Man, this hand needs a blue mana, but do I keep anyway? If it has a blue mana, it's like insane, right? Go like this into Ethereum Sculptor, and then I guess it's like a little too slow. Like even then, it's like, yeah, all right, this is too slow. This doesn't really have mana, but if it does get mana, it's pretty great. Oops, I wanted to keep that. Oh well. Well, this hand's better. Put these two back. This is a turn 3 Mystic Forge, which might be too slow because they're a turn 4 combo deck. Loki, good morning. This is your other moniker. All right. This is where they start doing good stuffs here. Oh, maybe not. They get to double spell this turn, which is like pretty great for them. They could, if like they have another spell plus a land, they can Primeval Titan next turn, which is bad for us. And hopefully this Mystic Forge does some crazy stuff. Yeah, I want to cast this. Oh, I guess I have to pass that up. And that's where we stop. Okay. Yep, block sack. One, two, three, four, five. So if they have Primeval Titan here, they can go Primeval Titan, get the 6th mana source. Oh, that's really bad for us. So they can go get 2 mountains, and that's 4 triggers. That kills all of these and 3s us. So we don't have a Blood Moon. Alright, later all the Ethereum Sculptors. And we're dead next turn. So this is kind of like the downside of this deck is it's not particularly fast. Yep. Later all the Ethereum Sculptors. We take 3, we go to 13, and next turn we're just super dead. If we had something like Blood Moon in our deck, we'd be able to win the game. But as it is, we do not. Mystic Forge is awful on the top of our library. Certainly don't want that. Draw a card with Waterlog Glove. Play Ornithopter. I guess now we can play this. Guess we play this for 0. basically just like looking for an Archon Ravager there. All right, so we finished at 2 and 3 with the deck. My overall like thinking or like thoughts on the deck is that there's something powerful here. I think that the current version of this deck isn't quite where it wants to be. Signal Press proved to be one of the worst cards in the deck. I would definitely look at cutting Signal Pest. It felt like we didn't have enough mana when we did get the Mystic Forge in play. And while the lock pieces were nice, I feel like maybe we want something a little bit more in the vein of like just like keep going with a combo. And a couple of things that I would personally do is up the number of Mystic Forge. It felt like whenever we had Mystic Forge in play, the game was pretty much over. And then we were always looking for more Mox Opals and more Ravagers. And I think we can fix that with, just by adding the 4th Mox Opal, adding more Ravagers, but then also with like the cutting of Signal Pests, maybe we just go like Mox Opal, Ravager, Mystic Forge, Ravager, trim on some of these, and play something like Springleaf Drum. Post sideboard, I could see something like Chalice of the Void, because Chalice of the Void doesn't hit us on 1 now, although if we had Springleaf Drum, it kind of hits us on 1, but it doesn't really matter too much. But that's like where the choke point was most often the choke point was mana. And so I think by trimming on some of this type of stuff, which in a lot of the matchups didn't really matter. Like you saw that last matchup against Valakut, it didn't really matter if we would have had a Thorn of the Amethyst or a Lodestone Golem in play. It really wouldn't have done too much because of how much mana they put into play. Against the things like the Wurza deck. The Wurza deck doesn't care too much because of, Lodestone Golem doesn't really stop them. Thorn of the Amethyst, they're like a control deck first against our deck, just trying to like stop like the Mystic Forge, stuff like that. Then gaining infinite life, it doesn't really affect their combo at all. So I think while I think this deck is like pretty sweet, has a lot of stuff going on, I think it needs a little bit of improvement, and the biggest point was going to be what do you do with these huge spells, or not huge spells, but these taxing spells like Thorn of the Amethyst and Lodestone Golem. And I think also just like not having 4 Mox Opals is maybe a mistake. It might just be that they didn't have 4 Mox Opals because there were like 100 tickets or something crazy. But yeah, I would look at adding more Mox Opals, adding more Archbond Ravagers, putting the 4th Mystic Forge into the deck. Things I do like about the deck, Mystic Forge seems like a very, very powerful draw engine. The Archbound Ravager, Walking Ballista is definitely a proven combo. You can have some nuts draws like we saw against the Valakut player who like put in a turn 2 Collector Roof against us. But on our turn 2, we played Chief Engineer, Ethereum Sculptor, Master of Ethereum. Already had like a Signal Pest and an Ornithopter in play. So like that's something that's like very powerful and very like, great about the deck is it can have explosive starts like that. So I think adding the mana helps with explosive starts like that, and will help the deck in those matchups. And then obviously having good sideboard options. I like the Throat of the God Pharaoh idea against things like Ensnaring Bridge, things where you need a huge burst damage too. Like against combo decks, you can play this and like say you attack them for 7, but you attack them with 4 creatures. That's essentially an attack for 11. But also against like Ensnaring Bridge, you can tap your creatures using like Chief Engineer and to go off like a big turn with Mystic Forge and then just like hit them for a bunch of damage and then finish them off with Walking Ballista is like a pretty good idea. So I think there's like a lot of cool things you can do with this deck, and I'm interested to see where it goes forward, and hopefully I can work on it a little bit more and come up with a more solid list. But it's a good start. It's definitely a good start. And like I said, I'm very interested to see where it goes. So for those that are watching on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Those that are watching me on Twitch at twitch.tv/ConanHawk, I'll do a little bit of changes and maybe run it through another league. So if you're out on YouTube, I'll see you later.